All right, here we go. All right, so today we have a USB-C repair on Nintendo Switch Oled. Let's see here. I think this thing I got is dead from, like, dead right out of the factory. Because I have not gotten this thing to work once.
Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. It really, really helps the channel.
Yeah. No life on this thing. All right. This guy. I need my USB to USB-C cable. Check for power. It'd be hilarious if both of these things were bad. Right? It'd be absolutely hilarious. Looks like both of these things are bad. Oh. Oh. Well, that's something. So, I guess I'll try and get down here and show you guys best I can. So we can see on this, there's numbers. And I have the switch plugged in. Let me just go to my face here. So we can see there's numbers on there. I have the switch plugged in. When I plug this in, those numbers go away. Unplugged. Plugged in. We got a short. So, that's actually really bad. All right, so I guess that means that the initial problem that I thought we had with this is not the initial problem. I'm going to say the M92 chip is a common failure point on these devices. And guess what? I just happen to have a switch sitting in the back, so if that's what it is, I can get it replaced. All right, start by getting these removed. I seriously doubt it is the. I wrote down DC jack on the paperwork. I seriously doubt that's what it is. Now let's look at getting this guy taken apart. Make sure there's not a memory card in there. There is not. All right, let's take out these microscopic baby screws, and then go from there. And like generally, Nintendo, unlike Sony, they're only going to use like one or two different styles of screws. Man, I hate taking these things apart. Like a lot. One of my least favorite things to do. All right, so while we got this getting this thing apart, we have different screws here. All right, so interesting. Got this apart. There is one screw that's missing in this corner, which should not be. And it's one of the Nintendo security screws. Let's take out the other one. Now let's remove the rear case. So, like I said, I feel like someone else has been in here. Let's grab. Yeah, someone else has definitely been in here. Because these speaker grills should not be like trying to rip themselves asunder. So I do this. Okay, there we go. That is the back of the case. Now, got some more screws here. these plates. This is one of those devices where once I take it apart, like, I'm going to put this right back together. Because I don't want to risk anything getting damaged. Yeah, that's generally what fails on these. Like I said, I have another one. Let's see. Well, I'm also trying to get a website back online. Apparently is offline. And then once we get this tape pulled off, well, Emily, if something's broken, I don't have a choice but to fix it. And we're going to put this tape on here. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get. Oh, that's not moving. That's on there. That's unplugged. That's unplugged. Move that out of the way. I didn't realize I had another piece of tape here. All right, those are out of the way. So now we need to remove the Wi-Fi antenna, which is this guy. All right, we got adhesion. So we got some adhesive we gotta get off of here. There we go. We have to remember to put double-sided tape back on this when we put this back together. So there's that. We'll put that. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna go like that. All right, so that's on there. Next, is the secondary Wi-Fi antenna, which is what this is called. Same deal. We'll be right back. Okay, back to this. So we need to get this guy off of here. Same general principle. Now we just got to be a little bit careful with this. This cable is run under stuff down here. So just be careful. That goes with that one. All right, next we got to keep removing some screws. All right, we're going to remove all the screws from this bottom plate now. All right, now that comes off. And we do believe that our culprit for this being a short is actually this chip. So we are going to continue to remove components until we get down to that chip. All right, next, going to lift off the battery connector. Make sure that's disconnected. We need to remove, there's some tape right here, which does need to go back on because it prevents this screw from shorting to the back of the case. Again, just got ourselves a nice little pry. That comes off. Now, this does not look like the water has tripped yet. Next, we need to do the heatsink. Interesting that there's actually writing on this board as if someone has been in here before. It even says B4 on it. Can I go any tighter? No, I can go a little bit tighter. All right, so we got that. Remove the heatsink. Now we need to remove the heatsink without actually like bending anything. Sure, we get it off of there. Make sure we don't bend any of these fins. I need to go this way to get it removed. As it's held on with adhesive at the bottom. So heatsink was next. Set that there. After that, disconnect the fan connector. It's going to go boop. Fan connector done. Unfasten the fan. Verify the lengths of all these. And that comes out. This will be the next cable. Yeah, that definitely could be expensive. That up there. I'm just going to go. Okay. So next is going to be all of these ribbon cables that are going to need to come off. We're just going to gently get them removed. Suddenly smells like soup in here. Move that. Okay. They got to be doing something next door. This is the screen connector. Disconnect the speakers. I hate these little speaker cables. They're so difficult to actually get out. Come on. Let's see if this one is any easier. Alright, there's one. There's two. Had to do it a little bit different of a way. Now, one. These are just going to be for this. So this is a different screw that I need to keep separate. Should be all of them. And now we are going to gently lift the board out. That should be everything holding it in. You're not coming off. Come on, there we go. Alright, so now we are down to our switchboard. Alright, so let's start by doing continuity checks here. See if we got ourselves a short. The most common problem with these is that chip right there. Alright, so this chip is usually a culprit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to ground. Make sure we have continuity, and then we're going to check for shorts here. Short, nope, that's normal, normal, normal. This looks dark. It looks suspiciously dark. And you know what else I need to check? I need to check this USB-C connector, which we have a little board for this, because it could still be this connector. Because on this board, B12 and B1 should be the only grounds. B9 is a ground. B4 is a ground. That might be right. Let's get a nice good look at this. Oh yeah, we're missing half of that, aren't we? We're missing part of this, the end of this connector. So it looks like over here on this side, we actually have some damage. Interesting. As I get thermal compound on my hands. So let's see if we have any shorts anywhere else across the board. Man, my probe's a little bit small for this. Or a little bit big, excuse me. Interesting. Alright, let's enhance. Alright, so I got it said I had. Alright, so this is actually fine. I was making contact with that. Alright, unenhance. Are we thinking, because this is what I'm thinking, that it is just, what is on the back of this? Just those, yeah. I'm thinking it's just the DC jack. Thinking it's just this. I think a couple of these pins are actually shorted together. Thinking that's what the problem is. So that's on ground, which means that and that should be shorted together. Actually, let's plug this board back in, because we know that some of the pins on this left-hand side are not kosher. Let's see if some of these are actually shorted together. So it's the pins that are over here. So let's see if B12, 11 and 10 are not. Those could also be the A pins, which is on this side. Let's check these guys. Like, I'm pretty sure that some of these are shorted together. Alright, let's check for shorts over here. Go back to our ground. So we got a short here. And this is coming from, so this is the ground plane. Yeah, so that's the ground plane. This should not be ground. So I should not have ground over there. I should have ground here. Like, I should probably remove that damaged USB-C port first before I do anything. Because that could just be causing, that short entirely. Same thing, I want to try and get a better view of the damage, because I can't really tell just by looking at this. Like, it could just be cosmetic. I don't know if there's a pin there. I need like a helping hand real quick. Oh, why didn't someone mention this to me? Oh, that's actually surprisingly good. All right. So, my concern was that this pin on the end is shorting with the pin that's on the opposite side of it, which it definitely looks like it is. There's a pin. Yeah, that doesn't look good regardless. Yeah, regardless, this needs to be replaced. Let me remove this and see if the short remains. I have a feeling that even me removing that, the short's going to stay there. And if it does, then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at replacing the M92 chip. Because right now, this is where we have a short. We're just going to go right to USB port removal. Well, it's more than not charging. It's like it's shorting. Like when we plug the power cable in, it straight shorts. And off of there. Off of there. I'm just getting some of this dried solder flux off of there. Okay, cool. I can reference that. So right now, my only real concern removing this is going to be this guy. The reason I want to add low melt solder is it just helps this stuff melt easier. I just doing it as like a precaution. Let's get this focused. We're going to do the universal good idea of adding flux, 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 and flux. All right. Get this thing. I have nowhere to put my arm. This is awkward. There we go. Heat up this low melt solder. Yeah, this is moving too much. These helping hands are not helping. Let's do what I did yesterday. That seemed to work out pretty well. I got this giant aluminum heatsink that will end up burning me if I do things wrong. Get some heat back in this. Problem is, this thing, like, this whole board has like no weight to it whatsoever, so I need to get a counterweight on this. All right, let's get this thing nice and toasty. Nice and toasty, he says. All right, and then we'll inspect our pins, verify we didn't remove any pads. Okay. Now, we're going to wait a couple seconds for this board to cool down, and then we're going to check this again. And then if we still have a short, then at that point we'll do some voltage injection and see if we can't find what is shorting. Good morning, Gassy. How you doing today? All right, so are we still shorting here? No, short's gone. Now I wonder if, okay, here's what we're gonna do. So the short is now gone. So what I'm gonna do, let's move this. We're gonna put this back here partially, and I want to see if now that it's gone, if it even powers on a little. So let's get this ribbon cable, because then I can just, if it starts to power on, I can just quickly unplug it. That's down, and I'm pretty sure this is the power board over there. Power button board, excuse me. Alright, so it should be the outside one. Let's see if we get any sort of life out of this thing. Then again, this battery might be dead right now, like completely discharged. That's in, this is in. And I don't think I have another battery here to test, but I might have another jack to grab real quick. So let's get that disconnected. This disconnected. All right, now we're gonna go through the laborious task of putting this back together so I don't lose any parts or screws or anything for that matter. All right, so now, like I said, we're just waiting, and we'll pick this up then. All right, we got our USB-C port replacement in. All right, Switch OLED Part 2. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull up my Fix-It kit. I'm gonna take this guy apart a little bit again. And we're going to get this jack soldered in there. Here's the replacement. Reopen this. Just back over here. Actually, let's go back to the computer builds for now so we can see what I'm doing. So we never plugged the antennas back in. We did need to remove that screw. That screw. That's gonna go there. This comes off. And we have our board out. All right, let's go back under the microscope. So our target is right there. There is our, that's what we're looking to install. And we're gonna go ahead, got 2 of them. I'm glad they sent 2. So what we're gonna do to get that off there, we're going to use some nice solder wick, the best solder wick. And we're going to use some flux. Alright, let's put solder on here to heat up my solder tip. And then let's get this out of here. That might have been a little too much. I think I put a little bit too much on my tip. There we go. Okay, now I really need to put this on something because there's a lot of heat on this mat. I used to do this on a slab of marble, and I think I might start doing that again because the melting temperature of marble is quite high. So one of the big things that you need to look at when we're doing this is making sure that we are, there it is. This. I'm waiting on a bunch of parts for that still. Mainly, I think right now the video card. All right, so the big thing that I want to pay attention to this is these rear pins, because I want to make sure these rear pins are actively making contact before I solder the rest of the thing in place, because then I'm going to use hot air and flux to get the rest of the pins lined up inside. So, all right, so now we're going to add again our friend flux. And then we're just going to, all of these pins, we're just going to come in and just gently touch the pins. Okay, so those ones are on there. And what I need to do now is I need to heat this whole connector up until I see this rear stuff reliquefy, because then at that point, hopefully, we're going to press this down. And all of the, like, it'll all liquefy underneath it as well. All right. Now let us quickly test to see if this is what the issue was. I'll plug this in. We have numbers on the screen. Do very gently. Plug that in. Look at that. We have numbers on the screen. Yes. Very nice. Looks like that eliminated the short. We're gonna have to try it the other way. We gotta try it both ways. We tried it that way. Let's flip it over. I think we're good. We're going to apply some solder to, let's go back into this. Let's apply some solder into these holes. And then this should be ready to go. I'm just waiting for someone to stop using the microwave so it stops messing up my mic. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to do this. I want to get this melted, and I want it to get it to look like that. I want a nice dome on this. Go. Like that. This one's already there. We're just going to hit it again a little bit. Like that. Yeah, same thing. And with that, by putting a dome on it, it means that the solder is actually flowing to the other side of the board, so you get a nice strong connection. All right, so let's take a second and clean up my workspace now that I'm done with the soldering. Hopefully done with the soldering. Rephrase that a little bit. Give this a zoom. All right, let's look at getting this thing put back together. It's wild to me how, like, after having this thing apart and putting it back together, how solid this device feels compared to a, like, even, say, an Xbox controller. This, once I have it together, man, it feels preem. All right, here we go. I gotta find a sleeve. We are charging. Where is his sleeve? Oh, here it is. We got our little charging light. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out Bradenton PC Repair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. bye.